All right, here we go. Lord Jamar, welcome back.
Peace. What's good?
Everything good, man. Everything good. We still shaking things up.
Yes, sir.
Doing what we do.
Doing what we do.
You know, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
you know, I think it's a gift to be the age that you are, and to get that far.
Right.
There's a lot of people that haven't made it this far.
Right.
And the ones that have made it as far as you don't look as good as you look in terms of health-wise, and you know what I'm saying? Like you see dudes, true. Right? You know, because just recently Bobby the Brain Heenan just died, the WWE wrestler,
right,
the manager,
right?
You know what I mean? And they showed pictures of him, and he looked unrecognizable.
Wow.
Yeah, he looked really bad.
You know, it's funny, when I was younger, man, when I first started getting knowledge of self, I started seeing like certain brothers in the Nation of Islam. Like when I started reading How to Eat to Live, and I started seeing certain brothers in the Nation of Islam. And I met more than one brother where they was like, you see him right there? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, he's like 70 years old. Brother looking like he's 50, skin shining.
Farrakhan.
Looking strong. That's what I'm saying. Like, but some of them was looking even better than Farrakhan. I'm talking shining, strong, and I'm like, and they're like, yo, he's 75. Like this man truly was eating to live. Like that's 1 meal a day type of shit. You know what I mean? I used to do that for a while on some 1 meal a day shit.
Yeah.
For years, I was just on some pescatarian shit. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's just about your diet. I think it's about your thoughts, how you think, not allowing this world to stress you out to the point where you're now rapidly deteriorating your fucking cells of your fucking body. That's what it is. Cancer and all that type of shit is just built up lies and tension and stress and bullshit in the body manifested, you know, in its physical form. That's what dis-ease is. It's the dis-ease of the mind which creates disease.
Right. I mean, Bob Marley died in his 30s.
Right?
You know, a lot of people don't make it to their 40s,
right.
To their 50s, to their 60s. Extremely common. You know, recently G Money, this rapper out of Baton Rouge, got shot and killed. I believe he was in his early 20s. And the crazy part was my assistant told me that he was scheduled to interview with us a few days later. I didn't even know because I don't really handle that part. But,
right.
You know, we were ready to talk to this dude. He was excited to do the interview. It was going to be like his big interview. Never happened.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Let's switch gears for a second, though. The biggest thing in the news right now.
What's that?
Kevin Hart. He did the preemptive video apologizing.
See, I don't know the full. I just started hearing some shit about this last night because I was too busy enjoying my motherfucking birthday. So, all right, let's recap real quick. What I heard is, I don't know, there was some extortion. Somebody was going to extort him. So he just came out with the truth.
Right. And actually there's an Instagram account that we're cool with named Famulous. And they posted some pictures. We can't show these pictures because this is not the type of things we post.
Oh, but you could show me.
I can show you, right. You know, and if you go to their account, you can take a look at it. You know,
okay.
Here he is with, looks like a blonde girl. You know, there's the girl with the black hair that he was kind of cuddling with.
And where's that at? In a crib?
That looks like in Vegas, I think. Hotel room.
Okay.
Something going on here with the bed.
These are just pictures?
Yeah. Someone had a hidden camera. There he is with the girl in the picture right there. They're hanging out. This is them. Yeah, this is the famous cuddling picture that TMZ put up.
Look like a baby breastfeeding in that.
Right. Here's them in bed together.
Okay. You got caught.
You got caught out there.
And he ain't the first motherfucker to get caught.
No.
But see, from what I understand, like, okay, this is on his new wife, right?
Right. Wife number 2.
Right.
And
Wife
Nico,
number 2.
And Nico.
Who he was messing with her when he had wife number 1, correct?
Correct.
So, wife number 1 was the mistress. I mean, wife number 2 was the mistress.
Yeah.
And now she's getting cheated on with these mistresses.
With potential wife number 3.
Well, not anymore, because she done fucked it
Yeah,
up
right.
now.
Yeah. She fucked up.
One of the first things I said is, what do you expect? What do you expect? And not just what do you expect on the level of, you know, you lose them how you get them type of thing, or whatever the case, whatever the fuck they say. It's not even always so much that, but like women, like his wife that he's with now, okay? Let's keep it real. This woman is mad fucking pretty. Do you think she would have fucked with a Kevin Hart if he wasn't Kevin Hart with the type of money and success that he has now? Would she even have looked at his little ass?
She's actually taller than him.
This is what I'm fucking telling you. Would she have looked down when he fucking knocked on her stomach? Would she have looked down and said, oh, I'm gonna give this little motherfucker a chance, this little broke nigga a chance? Abso-fucking-lutely not. She's one of those girls you could tell she was gonna get her a millionaire. By hook or by crook. Okay? And there's these girls out there. Like, there's girls right now that's grooming themselves. You understand? Because they know they could be so bad, and in the age that we live in, they could sexualize themselves and put themselves to a point where one of these thirsty millionaires will grab their ass up and make them straight for life. Then all they got to do is have a baby, and they good. They good.
For 18,
so now,
not forever though. For 18 years.
18 years is a long time.
Yeah.
For somebody who, you know what I mean?
Right.
Didn't know what they was going to do for the next 18 months.
Right.
Okay? So now, but let me just continue.
Okay,
Hang on.
go ahead,
Let me
go ahead.
continue. Now, it's like, again, you can't give a motherfucker, I don't care how tall or short, fat, skinny, you can't give a motherfucker who ain't had money and shit like that, or not even, I'm not even gonna say no, not money. You can't give a motherfucker who ain't been getting women, period. Like, if you ain't been getting girls before you was doing this shit and had money, once you get this shit, you're gonna try to live out every fucking fantasy that you ever envisioned in your mind.
Right. And
Because
now,
you couldn't do it before.
Right. And now you can.
And now you can. And what's supposed to stop me? Her over here? Like, nah, it don't work that way, ladies. And it don't work that way, fellas. That's why everybody just needs to keep it real with each other. Homegirl, you know how you got him. You know there's a high potential of him fucking with somebody else. As long as he sticks with you, fuck it. You need to be more truthful. Talk about, that's my rib. I heard you saying that's why people's really getting on him, because he's been quoted numerous times talking about, that's my rib and she completes me and all this type of shit. All right, so people saying, well, if that's your rib, why you cheating on your rib? You know what I mean? My thing is, listen, yeah, maybe she is your rib, but you need to say, but I do still like to indulge in other pussy. Like, and she knows this, and we're good with it. Like, you know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Like, I heard that the nigga Mayweather was saying some shit. Yo, I got 7 girlfriends.
Right.
And they know what's up.
Mm-hmm.
What the problem is?
7.
What the problem is? Like, he's keeping it, nobody's getting lied to and all this other shit. Like, what the problem is? Because it's not within the mold that, you know, European society says you should have monogamy and all. First of all, that's some bullshit anyway. Like, that's some shit to try to stop us from truly reproducing the way we are truly capable of reproducing. But anyway, you know, it's fucked up, but he'll get over it. She'll get over it.
Well, I don't think she has a career. You know what I'm saying? This is not like a Beyonce.
Being his wife.
Right. This is not like a Beyonce that could say, okay, I don't need this man's money.
Right, I got platinum hits.
Yeah, I got a few $100 million I'm sitting on. If he's not acting the way I would like him to act, that I'm going to accept, then I'll just go back to doing my own thing. My lifestyle will remain exactly the same, you know? And we're going to just keep it moving. Like, for example, I'm almost positive she signed a prenup.
Maybe, maybe not.
Maybe, maybe not. We don't really know.
It's all of how sucker for love are you?
But by the time that Kevin Hart met her, he was already married. He was already well into his success. And he had more of a bargaining chip than she did.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he could have just been like, okay, you
but
know what?
But you know what her bargaining chip is?
What?
Being bad and having some good-ass pussy.
But you could find that anywhere.
Could he?
Yes.
At that time?
Yes.
That was the baddest, best pussy that he found. That's why he married her. Duh. Like, you think you could find that anywhere. But first of all, like I said, if you're not used to dealing in certain levels, like, I mean, his first wife, she was a nice looking woman, but she's not like model status. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now you're jumping to model status or, you know, some whole next level of woman as far as looks goes. I'm not even going to say, you know, because his first wife probably was the most quality woman. We'll find out later. You know what I mean? And she's probably the one chuckling right now.
Told you, motherfucker.
I told you, motherfuckers. I told you the motherfucker wasn't shit.
So he said that he would be stupid not to have a prenup. Then he said, let's see. Through the public eye, it looks like
that pussy's so good, I just couldn't sign it. She with me.
I think they got a prenup. I'm pretty sure. Like, for example, Amber Rose had a prenup with Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
She walked away with $1 million. That was the prenup. Plus child support. Child support you can't have a prenup over.
Right. Okay.
You know, that's state ordered. You can't sign away your rights to that. But you know, alimony, you could have a prenup for. I'm sure she probably got a nice check. You know, a prenup doesn't mean you get nothing. Prenup could mean you get $1 million. Could mean you get $10 million. Means
just
whatever.
means you can't get out of hand with the shit.
You can't get half.
We're gonna establish what the fuck it's gonna be, and it's not gonna go over that.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll see what happens. She was seen out today wearing her wedding ring. I don't think she's going anywhere.
Why? Like, first of all, let's talk about this too. Why do families have to be ruined because of so-called infidelity? Like, there's plenty of men that are doing everything they're supposed to do, providing for the family, being there with the seeds and all this. Only thing they did wrong was go get some pussy.
Right. Didn't get her pregnant.
Didn't get her pregnant.
Didn't bring back a disease.
None of that. He just went and got some pussy. Came home to you, loves you, all of that. But he gets some pussy from time to time somewhere else. Like, is that really something to break the family over? Now the women will flip it because they'll talk about equality and say, well, what if the woman did it? See, equal doesn't mean identical. And I hate when they use that argument. It's not the same. But if we are going to flip it, yeah, I don't know if that's worth breaking up a family for. Just because your wife wants to fuck sometimes. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, we've been taught to react certain ways for certain things. Right. If we were to shift our thinking and say, especially went back to a more African way of thinking where as long as you're able to provide, you can have as many wives and children as you want.
Right. As long as they're all treated equally.
Yes.
Which is a Muslim thing as well.
Right. And like I said, equal is not identical, though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that what most women want, I think most women understand that a man is going to get some side pussy every so often. Most women just don't want to see it. Most women don't want the chick showing up at the house, commenting on their Instagram, posting up pictures.
But they don't want other people to find out.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
that's part of it too.
And them as well. And them as well. There's certain things you just don't want to see. There's having someone tell you something is one thing.
So you're so now that speaks to. So then we can't handle reality.
Right.
Right?
That's pretty much it.
We don't want to deal with the reality of our lives. So either don't show it to me, or if you do show it to me, don't speak it to me. And if you do, I'm gonna react in a way that's irrational. Because it's already irrational to not want to deal with reality. So of course you're gonna deal in an irrational way when you hear that your false reality is not true.
Yeah.
You see, the fake reality you've created for yourself, and then it's like, but now there's children involved, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, he's a liar. Like, come on, everybody lies. You lie too. Stop it. Everybody has lied in their fucking life. Stop acting like because, he lied to you about this, that it's the worst fucking thing in the world.
Right.
It's not.
Right. When you talk about tearing up families and, tearing up households.
And that's the one thing. Now, I can see if he's whooping your ass and doing all.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when this is the one thing that's, I'm out of here. I'm taking your kids from you. You're never going to see him again over that one thing.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's stop the bullshit, B. Let's stop the fucking bullshit. Because, as you see, especially when it comes to money with rich people and all of that, a lot of them motherfuckers will just shut the fuck up, keep getting that paper, keep their family together, and do what the fuck they gotta do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Presidents' wives and all that type of shit. What did Jackie do for the presidency?
Nothing.
Nothing. She shut her fucking mouth. She knew that nigga was getting pussy.
What did Hillary do?
Nothing. She was a little mad. Oh, she shook her fucking finger at that motherfucker, but she ain't leave.
She's still there.
She's still there. Raised their fucking families like they should.
Young Jack.
It's going down.
Meet me in the women's clothing store.
It's going down. Listen, we don't have the full context of it, but to me, there's no context. There's no context that's gonna ever catch me in a dress. Like, oh no, it was just a joke, or me, I was joking. Never. Like, there's no context other than somebody photoshopping a dress on me. But you're never gonna see me come out in a dress for any obscene reason.
So in Oz,
Right.
you did a nude scene in the shower.
Yep.
But if they asked you to wear a dress in a scene,
Fuck no.
the answer would be no.
Fuck no.
Didn't you sign a contract that says that you got to do whatever the script says?
I don't think it says that in the contract, that you got to do whatever the script says. But when I first went in there and had the meeting, before I signed any contracts, there was a discussion about what I would and would not do.
Okay. And the dress was one of the conversations?
Nope. The dress was never introduced. Because I don't think my character, there was no need.
Well, you're in prison, so.
Yeah. But it was stated from the beginning that I wasn't gonna do no gay shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? No homo shit.
Right, because Young Jock said that it's just fabric.
So check game. This is gonna be my probably my last time even mentioning this shit, especially until the show come out. I knew the type of backlash that would come from this shit. I did. But let me address one and two things real quick. For those of you who so quick to call on the Illuminati and say I sold my soul, tell me how I sold my soul. I mean, yeah, I fucked around. Some shit had to happen in a situation. I had to man up, put on a fucking dress. Get what? It's just a thread. It's some shit a man made. I mean, it's a thread. It's nothing. Now, if you give me a shield and a spear and put a goddamn leather metal belt around my waist, and I might look like a motherfucking Roman. 300, Sparta. But that's not the case. All I'm gonna say is quit being so judgmental, people. It's threads.
You see, like, and that's always the
Justification.
The justification. Hey, look how much money I made from it. And see, and you got motherfuckers that are at such a low position that'll say, hey, if motherfucker give me $1 million, I'd wear a dress too. So where does it stop? If a motherfucker gave you $5 million, would you suck a dick?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, is money the cure-all for all, immorality and mental illness? I don't think so.
Right. There should be certain things you should just never do regardless of the money involved. Period.
And I think for each person, they're going to have their line. What I would do and what somebody else would do might be two different things, but God damn it, have a line. You see what I'm saying? Like, your line might be further down than my line, but at least have a fucking line. These motherfuckers don't even have a line. It's like, oh no, I'll do anything for money. I'll do anything for money.
Right, because 21 Savage, he apologized for all the soft dudes.
I want to apologize to the world on behalf of my city, the city of Atlanta. I know we produce some soft-ass niggas, but just bear with us. We're going to get through this storm, guys. I just want you guys to know there's some real niggas left, and real niggas are coming back in style, so just hold tight. We're going to take this thing back, man.
As he should.
For Atlanta producing so many soft dudes.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. A lot of that funny shit down there. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, Atlanta is the gay, like the black gay capital of America.
That's what they say.
I wouldn't say the gay capital. San Francisco is probably the gay capital, the overall
Right,
gay capital. But in terms of like the black gay population, you'd have to say it's Atlanta, from what they say.
Yep.
Not to say the young jock is gay. I'm not saying that.
Nah, but you looking like the lunch lady right now. You want more gravy on the mashed potatoes, baby? That's how you sound like his voice. You want more gravy?
A lot of famous black actors have worn dresses, have dressed in drag.
Right.
Jamie Foxx.
That don't make it right.
Jamie Foxx started out his career.
Oh, he
like
got
that.
a new show coming out where he actually like addresses that or some shit. Like he uses it in one of the scenes. Like he's sitting there with a skirt on or some shit, and he says some shit about like because he wants somebody to be in his show or something like that. But I guess they want him to wear a dress, and the guy said he's not gonna wear a dress. And then so now this nigga's sitting there with a dress on. He got his legs all open. He's like, everybody always tripping on a dress. Like it's some new show that's coming out. I don't know exactly what it is. It looked like it was funny, but at the same time, they use humor to instill certain shit.
Right. At the end of the day, I feel everyone should have a line, like you said. I never want to do reality TV. I've had a few offers here and there. I've always turned them down. We don't really work with Love and Hip Hop, anymore. Just because we felt like, some of the stuff they were doing on the show and so forth just wasn't really how we wanted to align our brand. So we stopped licensing our footage to them. They wanted to use footage, and we just at one point just said no, we're cool. We turned down a lot of money. I easily turned down a few $100,000s a year. And
Good.
For things that we just feel are not good for the brand, like paid interviews, paid postings, certain things that could make us money, but we just feel in the long term is a bad idea.
Good. That's called integrity.
Yeah, and also long-term thinking. Like, yes, this check is cool right now, but the money the young jock was showing in that Instagram video was not going to last him until the next year, much less the rest of his life.
So wait, what did you get paid for to wear the dress?
I don't know. They didn't really get into it because the show hasn't aired yet.
Oh.
But
So he definitely wears it on the show.
something like that. He claims he's on 4 shows right now and something, so I'm not sure. Well, you know, his
Shows.
4 different shows
Oh yeah.
is what he was saying. Jock's music career is not where it once was. Doesn't seem like he's even really pursuing it seriously at this point, which is fine. He's got a few hits that,
Probably could live off of a little bit.
yeah, generates a few dollars, and I think he was responsible for the swag surfing. Like he put that group out.
Okay.
You know, my hat matches my bag. Remember that song?
I swag.
I surf. Yeah, I think that was his group that he put out.
Okay.
So he's got his hands in the music industry, but it seems like TV is his new hustle. And he got a hell of a lot of kids. He's got a hell of a lot of kids.
I heard.
Sure, he's got a bunch of child support. You know, some of the baby mothers, I'm sure, have taken him to court over it.
So he'll say, listen, man, I got to do what I got to do.
take care of my kids.
I got to take care of my kids. If I got to put on a dress, I don't put on a motherfucking dress. That motherfucker going to be. I mean, I hear you. I just feel like, you know, I'd find another way to get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Another way to get it.
Blac Chyna.
What now?
Blac Chyna has, well, she originally wanted $50,000 a month for child support to cover those nanny costs.
Right. They're very high, Vlad.
Right.
Very high.
Very high. I guess she's Martha Stewart is a nanny. Maybe Oprah is doing some nanny work for her, and you know these women aren't cheap. She originally wanted $50,000. They finally settled at $20,000. Right. Someone actually did the math on this, which I found to be kind of funny. So, 20,000 times 12 months times 18 years is $4.3 million. That's how much, you know, considering that this stays the same throughout, which it may or may not. But if this stays the same, Rob will have to pay $4.3 million for this child, which he has 50% custody of.
Right.
There was a total lack of surprise from the public that this is happening.
I mean, do I look surprised? I'm just like, oh, is that the number?
We knew it was going to be a number.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about it. We had, you know, all of our previous interviews, I said, she going to make a Kardashian baby. Just watch. She's going to have the only Kardashian baby. The only one. Because everyone else is a West or a Jenner or whoever the fuck, you know, or whatever else. Not a Jenner, a Disick, a West or a Disick, or, you know, if Chloe has kids.
Whatever. Oh, no, tell you, he ain't even do nothing with none of them.
No. He's smart. This is the only Kardashian. This is the only baby. Well, and she can't even really hold the Kardashian name because she's a female, right? If it was a male, then it potentially could keep the Kardashian name going.
Right, but for the moment.
For the moment, this is the only Kardashian, quote unquote.
New Kardashian coming.
New Kardashian. 20,000 a month. That's a grim.
Yeah, but you know, that's like, you know, that's a sucker fee. Like, you know, you got to pay his sucker fees, man. It's like everybody got to pay their dues, man.
Right. On top of that, she wants over $1 million for the whole revenge porn thing.
Okay, give it to her.
Give it to her?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Well, here's the thing, number one. From what I understand about these laws, and I could be wrong, I'm not a lawyer. When it comes to this whole revenge porn thing, you kind of have to prove that this somehow affected your life and, you know, your livelihood, your income, your something.
That's bullshit. I mean, it shouldn't.
So, for example, if you put out naked pictures of a porn star.
No, I thought revenge porn pertained to, like, if you made a porn with somebody that you knew, that you were with.
It includes pictures.
Well, even that, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But don't you have to know the person?
Yes.
I can't just, yeah. So if I had naked pictures of an ex-girlfriend, let's say, or whatever, or some film, and then I put that out, that's revenge porn.
Yeah.
Not if I just grab pictures of fucking Pinky or somebody off the internet.
No, but what I'm saying, let's just say you're fucking around with Pinky, you take naked pictures of her and you put it out.
Right.
That's technically revenge porn.
Yes.
But you kind of have to take a step back and say, but there's a million naked pictures of her already on the internet.
She's already fucking.
So
What's the
what
difference?
effect does this really have on this person's career? Zero. So therefore,
Right, well, that's only in the case of a porn star.
right. But you have Blac
Whereas-
Chyna, who's
She's not a porn star. I thought she was at first, but y'all pointed out she used to be a stripper.
she used to be a stripper.
Okay? So
And-
that's different.
And she's damn near naked
but
on her
she's
own
not
social media.
fucking on her social
Well,
media.
but he didn't put out video or pictures of her fucking. He just put out naked pictures of her.
But does she put out naked pictures of herself on a thing?
Probably not.
Well, there you go. Then he crossed the line that she wouldn't cross her own self, thus causing her, emotional distress and harm. Do you know how many fucking niggas slid in her fucking DMs after that? You know what kind of fucking anguish she had to go through fucking answering all those fucking DMs? All the yes, maybe, and no's. You kidding me? It's a lot of fucking work, man.
Right, maybe. There's like 5 letters in that.
Yo, but I'm just saying, like, for real, like, yo, I just got a lot of, shit in my direct messages from my birthday. Mad shit, like, and I'm trying to answer, thank you. It's a fucking lot of work, yo. Like, I still didn't get to my LinkedIn right now. There's a
Right.
whole list on LinkedIn, and I'm trying, thank you, brother, thank you. Come on.
$1 million. So you think it's
I think I should, come on.
Okay.
I'm just saying, yo, it's a lot of work, man. This whole digital life, man.
Right.
It's a lot of
$1 million. So you co-signed that amount.
I'm just saying, fuck him. Take that motherfucker to the cleaners. I don't give a fuck how much you take from him. That's what I'm saying. Give her $1 million. I don't give a fuck. You already fucked up. You already stepped in the bear trap. You know what I mean? Now you want to get out without, you might have to lose a foot, motherfucker, in order to live. So be it. You knew that was there. That's what's crazy, though. I said, yo, Rob, there's a bear trap right there. You said, oh, it's a pretty little bear trap. Boom, you stepped your foot in it. The fuck you want me to do now? Niggas cost $20,000 a month in therapy, for your foot. You're going to have to pay $1 million amputation fee. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
Right. He's already $5 million into it with this chick already.
Hey, maybe a lesson will be learned from this, either by him or other suckers out there who want to go down the road that this motherfucker went down. Stop fucking with bitches out of your league. That's another thing. You motherfuckers with money. Stop fucking with bitches that are out of your league. See, let me just tell you something. See, I ain't never went platinum or gold.
Brand Nubian's first album didn't go gold?
No, supposedly not. Okay. But let me tell you, I've been fucking with platinum broads. And what I mean by that is girls that are so beautiful, so pretty, that niggas that go platinum be fucking with these type of girls. How? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people that you never heard of. Plenty of dudes that you never heard of. They might not even have a lot of money. They got looks. They got game. You know what I mean? And they got platinum broads. And they ain't even spending the type of money that you're spending on these girls. Because they're in the right league. They're in that league. These beautiful women looking back at some of these guys and like, yo, I think he's beautiful too. I think he's mad handsome. You know what I mean? But now you not so handsome motherfuckers who wasn't getting pussy all this time had to settle for whatever fucking, Blanche or Octavia that you can find. And those are just ugly names to me, so.
Blanche. Octavia, okay.
Octavia. You know what I mean? So, You know, and they go with ugly girls to me. So you had to fuck with those type of broads. You wasn't fucking with the Keanus and the, you know, with the ones with the sexy little names. But now that you got money, this one's hitting you up and that one's hitting you up and you're very flattered. And you want to do what you want to do.
Right, because after all the bullshit that happened between Yachty and Soulja Boy over India Love, you now see pictures of Yachty and India kind of hanging out a little together. Like, you know, she's sitting on his lap, they chilling and leaving little notes.
And now watch, get away. Get away now. I know you didn't want to talk to me, but get away, run now. Because you're not smart enough to fuck with one of these type of girls. Trust me, she gonna be pregnant very soon. And you're gonna be fucked up. But she just, you know, they gotta make sure that your career is still gonna keep rocking. Right. You know what I mean? It's looking rocky right now. You gotta just know this. You gotta know this going in. Listen, she'd never fuck with me if I didn't have no paper. You know what I mean? I know she's telling me she loves me and all of this type of shit.
Let me just get what I can get.
Let me just, hit this and be out. Please, you gotta have the discipline though, to not be able to hear this beautiful ass woman when she tells you she loves you, especially when you're having sex, when you're in the throes of fucking, she's like, I love you. And then you're like, I love you too. And she's like, got him. Yes. And she knows, because those type of niggas, they're not used to it.
Right.
See, a nigga that's used to those type of girls should be like, I love you. He'd be like,
good.
I know you do. That's nice.
Pass the salt.
You know what I mean? Wipe me off. Give me a
towel.
Fucking towel. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, speaking of relationships of people who are of similar levels, Nicki Minaj and Nas.
I see.
Right.
That's nice. That's Queen's royalty right now.
Yeah.
That's some Queen shit right there.
Some Queen shit. You see him in the picture? He had the 1988 Benz. The Benz 190. He pulled out this Benz 190. It was his birthday Benz from '88.
Wow.
The 190E, which at the time was like the base model Benz.
But in the hood, that was
the
lot
car.
of people's Benz. Like,
well, right. When
you're
young, you just wanted any kind of Benz. You weren't thinking about the top of the line. Just having a Benz when you're young like that, like a teenager, you was considered the fucking man. Like,
exactly.
So he pulled it out. So there's like, you know, some photos basically of them, you know.
Rooftop where we bringing 88 back.
Right, you know, chilling.
That's what's up.
Apparently they've been dating for a while, kind of on the low. There was that video on his birthday where he's like licking her neck or something.
Mm-hmm.
My phone is messed up. Don't you love me, girl? Yo, yeah, they in love.
Oh my God, stop. Wait, listen, Nazir.
Yo, I need to save all that.
Okay, we're gonna save this. You guys, we want to thank you, all 200 of you, for tuning in.
Everybody's pussy. I don't got nobody looking at me. Everybody in rappers pussy.
Clearly they've been fucking.
Good for him. Good for her.
You know what's funny is that people
That's
say...
my Virgo brother right there.
Right.
Okay?
People say, like, I looked in the comments and all these women were like, I just lost all respect for Nas. And it's like...
Why?
Let's just take a step back. If you look at Nas's choice of women, they've pretty much been Nicki Minaj's the whole time. From Khalees all the way back to Carmen. You know, the fly chick, lots of makeup,
little eccentric.
done up, yeah, a little eccentric. You know, like, there's not a massive difference between these three women. Between Nicki, Khalees,
Well, I see
and
Nicki
Carmen.
and Khalees more. I don't know too much about the other ones.
Well, I interviewed Carmen.
Right.
Right. And like, you know, she's still fly, she still looks good. She was wearing like, you know, skin tight pants and, you know, had her titties up and all that type of shit. I'm sure back in the day she was super fly. You know, Jay-Z was fucking with her back in the day. So, and you know, she was sort of in these, you know, kind of in these circles. It's not much of a difference. Not much of a difference. You know, Nicki got a little more plastic surgery than the other two. But, hey, if he likes it, who are we to say anything?
Right. So?
They're both rappers.
And they both from Queens.
They're both from Queens.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what's really bringing them together is that Queens shit. You know what I mean? They got a lot of, I bet you they got a lot of Queens, separate Queens memories, but just of different areas. Queen, Rochdale, 40, Baisley, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I used to fuck around in Queens back in the days. I had some Queens people.
Queens get the money.
Queens get the money. My Lightning was from Queens, matter of fact. He's from Hollis, Queens. Piece of true king, Allah.
I can see this, man. And honestly,
I think they look good together.
I think they look good together.
I like them together.
I like
I'm
them
not
together
mad
too.
at it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I dig it too. So
Yeah.
whoever's hating, fuck them.
Fuck them. And I like to see more of these hip hop couples. I like to see more of these hip hop icons get married to kind of send a message out. to
Yes. That you can have a relationship, like instead of always, you know what I mean? The man and woman always talking shit about each other. Hey, let's come together, man.
everyone. Build an empire.
Let's build a fucking empire.
Because money-wise...
And it doesn't have to, but see, it doesn't have to be a money empire.
Well, no, but
That's cool if you do that. But all empires are not based on money.
well, most are.
No.
No?
No.
There's not a
Based
money
on-
aspect in most empires?
No. The empire, that just helps to keep the empire intact. Your real empire is your children and all of that and the generations that come
Right.
after. That's your
Fair
fucking
enough.
empire.
But what I was just going to say is that money-wise, they're probably in a similar playing field. Obviously, Nas has been doing a lot longer, but
He's
Nicki's
been
had
making a lot of nice investments
good
lately.
moves and
I
so
got the
forth.
bevel trimmer. I got the
You
bevel.
got it?
I got it.
Is
and
it cool?
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
Why you think my shit looking so fucking sharp? Kiko?
But, you know, like Nas has been doing it a lot longer, but Nicki's had more commercial success.
Right.
Yeah. So, like I'm saying, it probably kind of evens out to a certain degree where neither one of them needs the other financially.
Right.
And if they do come together, get married, have kids, and so forth, you could create generational wealth with what they're doing here.
Yeah.
There could be a Jones empire that lasts for hundreds of years. That, you know, has buildings and museums and so forth. Businesses and so forth.
It's
So-
possible, but, you know, we are in America.
Yeah.
And you're talking about hundreds of years, and these are black people. And it's a whole other conversation.
Other conversation.
We got to back up real quick with we just talked about generational wealth. In one of our previous interviews, you said some shit about, I think Jay-Z may be the first one to talk about generational wealth in his raps.
Okay.
My seeds marry his seeds, marry his seed. That's how we keep Wu-Tang money up in the family. And I thought about that later.
That was Ghostface?
I think so, yeah. Okay? Just to put that out there. That was speaking on generational wealth, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm sure other people have said some shit too.
Well, I'm sure. But you know what it is?
That's the first time it really resonated, though, probably.
No,
with you.
you're right. But I guess, I think the thing is that at the time, Ghostface wasn't speaking from a financial level that's of a Jay-Z caliber.
Doesn't matter. He still was talking about generational wealth.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. So you're right. Wu-Tang was talking about it early. You could have that. Speaking of Nas, Lonzo Ball. Nas had his time, but it's a new time. None of his friends listen to Nas. They listen to Migos and Future.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I wasn't really mad at that statement. I feel everyone always puts Nas on such a pedestal that you cannot say anything non-positive about him. Not even negative. If you're saying something non-positive about Nas, it's always an issue with millions of people. You know, I've gotten
So
in the
he's our
past,
black Eminem, that's what you're saying. He's Eminem for black people. Because that's how y'all act with Eminem. You can't say nothing bad about that motherfucker without y'all going crazy. So he's well,
Yeah, pretty much.
Eminem is the white Nas.
Eminem is the white Nas. Nas is the black Eminem. There you go.
Eminem is the white
Eminaz.
Nas. If I'm gonna keep it real, yeah, like Nas is one of those irreverent artists that, you know, real hip hop enthusiasts are not gonna take lightly about you talking shit about him in any shape, form, or fashion.
Right, like for
You
example,
understand?
like Jay-Z, you could say negative things about Jay-Z and it won't have the same weight as saying something negative about Nas. You could say something negative about Rakim and it won't have the same weight as you saying something negative about Nas.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that. If you say,
I feel like Nas and Rakim was in that same type of.
yeah, but Nas had, I feel, such a longer run than Rakim.
Yeah, but Rakim was like one of the blueprints for a Nas, and
100%.
I feel like people of my era, I don't know.
But it's a similar thing, right? So the fact that he says that Nas had his time.
But is that what he says? See, I thought he said some other shit, like Nas is whack or some shit like that, or I don't fuck with Nas. Like, the way he said it, I heard was disrespectful.
Okay, well, we can go back and we can look it up.
Because I ain't never even seen this motherfucker shoot a jump shot yet. I just keep hearing his fucking name.
He said, y'all outdated, don't nobody listen to Nas anymore. Real hip hop is Migos and Future.
Okay, so
And
ain't
then-
nobody
and then-
listen to Nas no
Anymore.
more.
Okay,
That's
and
some bullshit, because
Yeah.
yes, they do. But go ahead.
He said, they told me the goal for the next 2 months was to get me to listen to real hip hop. I replied, that's not gonna happen. And the first person who popped in my head was Nas, because obviously he's real hip hop. He's talking about Marcellus Wiley. So I'm like, nobody listens to Nas no more, which I think is true, because of my friends, ain't nobody bumping Nas no more. No disrespect to him, he had his time. I
But
just
maybe
think
all
it's
your friends are corny. But
I
anyway,
just-
go ahead.
He had his time. I just think it's a new time. And then this next generation. And then the next question was, what is real hip hop to you? And I said, real hip hop is Future Amigos. So that's how it all went down. So, number one, to be fair, the new generation doesn't listen to Nas.
Well,
I think
not
that-
a majority, but I do know quite a few people from this new generation
Who listen to
that are on some retro hip hop shit, and they listen to Nas,
Right.
Gangstar, Wu-Tang, all of that shit.
100%. There's also a lot of people who listen to jazz. New generation who go to jazz shows, who are obsessed with, you know.
But yeah, generally, does this population listen to Nas?
No.
Probably not, other than listening to him in The Get Down when he has those rhymes in the
Right,
beginning.
and that show got canceled. But well, in terms, like, the last Nas song I even heard was he showed up on that song with French Montana and Kanye. I can't figure it out.
I just heard of something with him and Khaled.
Yeah, Nas album
Something about a
done.
key or something like that. I don't know. Nas be popping up.
He pops up from time to time, but I feel like when he does pop up these days, he doesn't make an impact in the same way that like a Jay-Z verse will make an impact. Like, you know, when Jay, you know, hops on like somebody's remix, like let's just say when he, you know, hopped on Kendrick's, you know, Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, that was like, oh shit, like Jay-Z and Kendrick, like, oh shit, like Nas pops up and it's like, oh, okay, oh, Nas and Kanye, oh, that sounds nice, okay, cool. Well, that, you know, and then it's just over. It's not like, oh, yo, like each lyric, like Andre 3000. When Andre 3000 is a guest verse, it's like a big deal. People really like feel it's special. And at the level that Nas is at, it's interesting that he's not creating that type of effect. We'll see what happens when his album comes out. Maybe his album comes out and it's a whole rebirth and it's Stillmatic all over again and so forth. You never know with music. You never know with artists. You know, he's got a lot of great people that are working with him. I know that my man Hip Hop has been working with him on the album. I'm sure Salam Remy is working with him. He's an incredible producer. Nas can get beats from whoever. So you never know. When this album, if it ever comes out, it might be the rebirth of Nas. But right now, people ain't listening to Nas. So I'm not totally mad at Lonzo saying that.
Yeah, fuck it. Let him say what the fuck he want to say.
It's a new
I don't
time.
even know this motherfucker like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know him like that. Other for putting out a sneaker that,
Nobody bought. Nas's manager called him Oatmeal Face.
Oatmeal face.
He said Nas never heard of him. Which may or may not be true.
May or may not be true.
Basketball fan or not. I'm actually kind of proud of the whole Ball family situation because far too often the fathers don't really get credit. When someone scores a touchdown, they don't say, hi, Dad, they say, hi, Mom.
That's true.
The mothers get a lot of credit, and they should because sometimes, you have the mothers are doing all the work. The father's not around. And they do deserve all the credit. But here's an example of a father who's coming in and saying, I put all this shit together. This was all me.
Right.
I even found a wife that could help me produce the best.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that. He said he found a wife that
Like
could help
he's
him.
trying to say he scientifically put together a little basketball motherfucker.
3 of them.
3 of them.
Yeah.
And they all went to the NBA?
Well, 2 of them are too young still.
Oh.
But they're all...
So he
the other
genetically did this.
The other 2 are NBA bound. Yeah.
So he's an NBA Yakub. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know who Yakub is, but I'm just agreeing to it. It sounds like
Agree. Trust me. It's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So wait. So the woman. So he's black. The woman he got.
It's white.
Now, what kind of scientist are you, motherfucker?
Maybe she was tall and had certain physical features and so forth.
See if you.
It all fell apart right there.
Because I'm like, okay, if you want to make a great basketball player, why would you put white people in the DNA? I don't understand. I'm confused. He probably just wanted, he said, all right, I'm going to have the athletic side is going to be on my side, on the black side. I just want my seed to have a little better light-skinned life or something maybe. I don't know.
Or maybe the wife was actually very athletic also. Just
You
because
couldn't
there's
find no athletic sister who's more athletic? Sure you could. Then again, wait a minute. A lot of the basketball athletic sisters
aren't into men.
If we keep it real,
Right.
those fucking Liberty games.
Right. They're getting wives.
Oh. He said, I tried to get one of those.
It didn't work out.
It wasn't fucking with me at all. I found me one tall white bitch that played basketball. Yeah, I mean, he probably tried to get him a sister, but it was like, Lonzo. We don't fuck with that. So he had to find
LeVar.
Oh, what?
LeVar's the father.
Okay. LeVar. Yeah, so he found him, the tallest white broad that could play some ball that he could find, I guess, But it was a struggle for him.
Well, all of his
You
three
think I
sons,
didn't try?
all 3 of his sons, one of them's in the NBA. The youngest son seems to be like the most promising, actually.
Really?
They're saying that the youngest is supposed to be the one that's really going to
Stupid
be the
nice.
superstar. Yeah. And in fact, and then there's the whole thing about
And he coached them and all of that.
100%.
Good.
100%. And he played basketball himself.
They're saying he wasn't even good in basketball or some shit like
They say he
that.
could be Jordan.
Yeah, but then they got some footage of him and he was like, yeah. Okay.
But a strong father figure, I think, is dope.
Of course.
And now there's the whole story about how his youngest son is going to be the only high school player with his own signature shoe because he's going to have his own big baller brand shoe.
Listen, you know what? We laugh at that, but actually that's some dope shit, man.
It is dope.
Because that's some do for self, B.
Right.
Everybody else wants to run around and take fucking money from these big fucking corporations who's basically putting you in slavery. You know what I mean? And these motherfuckers said, listen, I'm gonna fucking roll the dice and gamble on myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if this fucking takes off, I got my own fucking sneaker.
Right, because in fact, Shaq actually made more money off his like Payless type shoe than most of these other dudes made off their Nike deals. Yeah, he put out a shoe, it was lower cost, it had the Shaq logo
Yeah, where
on
he was
it.
hanging off the rim.
hanging off the rim, right. And he made, like I heard, like tens of millions or hundreds of millions, like a big amount. He even talked about it at some point. Said, oh yeah, y'all think these shoes are a joke? You know how much I made
Matter
off
of fact, your man is killing them over in China right now. Marbury.
Marbury, yeah.
That whole Marbury
Starbury
brand,
shoe,
Starbury, what? That
Right.
shit is...
Well, so now the thing is, they're saying that because his son has an endorsement, once he gets into college, they're saying that he may not be eligible for the
Because
NCAA.
he's professional.
Well, because you're not allowed to have an a business endorsement when you're a college player.
Right, because that almost makes you professional. You're getting paid in a way.
Right, but so this is what is such a gray area because it's really his own company. It's his dad's company. So do you mean to say that when you're a college player, you can't start your own company, you can't start your own business? You know what I mean? You can't have a lemonade stand, like, you know, you become even though the school's making all this money off
I
you.
think they're saying you can't be paid to sponsor sports type things
Well,
from
that's what-
some outside entity.
But that's what he's doing. I mean, technically, it's his father's company. You know what I
Right,
mean?
but what
Like-
I'm saying, you just said a lemonade stand, and
Yeah.
that's not the same thing. Now, can I be a college player and sell, can I have a basketball company where I sell basketballs? I don't know.
Yeah.
That seems like it would be against, a conflict of interest in their minds. I mean, these kids make these colleges obscene amounts of money to the point where the discussion has been up whether, college students should get paid to fucking pay as much money as they make for these fucking schools. So, for somebody to have a little hustle on the side while they're in college and all that, and if they was, industrious enough to have their own fucking shoe, then so be it. But, this is also how the powers that be create a framework where, where you're gonna have to rely on them at some point. Because you see, they keep you starving all through fucking college and shit like that. Tell you that you can't take money from these people and almost make you salivate to take money from these motherfuckers so that by the time you get out of there, you're like, yes, now I'm eligible. Give me the motherfucking money, give me the money. Instead of, you could have been taking all that time thinking how you was gonna make your own fucking company, or y'all was gonna come together with some of these brothers. We're gonna pool our resources. We're gonna put out our own, fucking basketball shorts or whatever the fucking case may be. You know what I mean? And do for self. And this man is doing for self, but now they clowning him because it's not. I mean, of course, it's not gonna be the same production level of a Nike or a fucking Adidas. It's just not. Like, but look at their first fucking shoe.
Yeah,
what it looked like.
They fell apart. In fact, I read Phil Knight's book, and they were saying that their first sneaker that was used in the Olympics literally fell apart on the track in front of like millions of people watching.
Right.
Yeah.
And still bounce back. And I'm sure people laughed at them. Oh, your shoe's a piece of shit. Look, it fell apart.
Right.
But they came back from it. And now, look where we at.
Kevin Durant was recently caught creating a fake account
That was funny when you told me that.
so he could argue with trolls, but then he forgot to switch back accounts.
People are only human, man. Like sometimes, you got these motherfuckers talking shit about you on the internet. And sometimes there's things inside of you that just want to be like, feel like you want to answer that type of shit.
But you can't answer it yourself, so you got to make a fake account.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you could answer it yourself, but
It turns into a whole thing.
Yeah, it turns into a whole thing. So then when you make a fake account and you get caught, that turns into a whole thing too. See, I didn't even know the rules in the beginning. So when I was getting trolled in the beginning, you know, I was answering people back on my fucking thing. Fuck your mother, she sucks a bag of dog dicks, all kind of shit I used to tell these motherfuckers. But then I realized, you know what I mean, what a troll is and da-da-da-da-da. And some people was even like, oh shit, I didn't even know he was gonna answer me. Like, I actually like you. Like,
Right. I saw a documentary recently about Anonymous.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of showed the rise of Anonymous and how they came together and so forth. And part of it was kind of like the original trolls that had kind of formed together and so forth. And someone really broke it down. They said, a troll, the purpose of trolling is to try to get the biggest reaction that you can out of this other person strictly for your own amusement. And once I read that, once I read that, you know, saw that and actually heard the definition, I said, you know it, but you don't know it. Like, you know, you don't really think about the whole thing. So every time someone hits me and at DJ Vlad with a whole bunch of fuck shit, and it's like, your first reaction is to respond. But you have to think and say, this person is trying to get you to respond. This is why they're atting.
They're scientifically trying to see what nerve is going to make you jerk and flinch and you know what I mean? Do something. They're giving you these tests, banging on your fucking knee, and they want to see the shit jump up. And when it does, it makes them giggle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so you just have to have the discipline of saying, that doesn't affect me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But it's just interesting to me that someone on the caliber of a Kevin Durant, who, I mean, in the league right now, top three, top five. I mean, you got LeBron, you got Curry, you got Westbrook. Who else do you have?
But what does that even mean? Like, so what?
Top four, top five.
That he's one of the top five in the NBA.
Right now.
Does that mean he doesn't have feelings and emotions? You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people with money are some of your most sensitive, fucking emotionally, you know, have the most emotional baggage out of all of us.
Right. Trump.
Trump. Okay? So, exactly. He's getting trolled by the fucking world.
Right.
And he's trolling the world.
And he's responding.
Yeah, and he's responding. He blocked fucking, what's his name, wife? Yeah. Chrissy
Teigen,
yeah.
John Legend's wife.
Blocked her. He got that shit hurt him so much. He said, you know, I'm just gonna, I can't even watch this.
He didn't even mute her. He blocked her.
He blocked her. Like, yeah, you could have just muted her notifications and, no, block her. I don't want her to even exist in my fucking world.
She's gonna need to make a fake account like Kevin if she want to get at me.
Okay? So, it's just like, yeah, like.
You're right. We're
it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. You're up here. He's the president. This guy's a basketball player. This person, you know, works at McDonald's. Who gives a fuck? Everybody got their own fucking psychological shit going on in here. And, you know, whoever finds the buttons first wins, I guess, you know?
I just feel that, number one, arguing with a troll, you never really win. There's no such thing as beating a troll.
Right.
It's always just various degrees of loss. This is why I haven't done it in just years and years. Like, I probably got 1,000 people on my mute list. I'm sure 1,000 people a day at me with a bunch of fuck shit and are still waiting for the day that I respond and I never see it.
Right.
You know, and also, to be at a great level, I kind of feel like you need a way to just block that out, to just focus on what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Like, if you're playing, you know, if you're playing a game and you're thinking about what someone tweeted you, like last night, it's gonna throw you off a little bit.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You have to be in the moment to be at your best. You have to be present. If you're thinking about the slight that happened to you, last night or 2 weeks ago, wherever the fuck it happened, or you're worried about getting home to fucking, so I can respond to this motherfucker or whatever the case may be, whatever you're doing at the very moment is gonna lack in some sort of way. You know what I mean? You're not giving it your full attention.
Yeah.
And that's, that's the science of life right there. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Be in the moment. Stop worrying about the past. The past is gone. Future's not here yet. Worry about right now. Because what you do now determines what will happen in your future.
Right. In fact, I saw this really interesting interview with Kobe Bryant. He talked about, his definition of greatness. And he said something interesting. He said, if you could turn back time and if you could do it over again, would you do it? And he always said that he wouldn't, because the reason why those moments came together the way they did is because those moments had a time limit and an end point. You knew you couldn't redo them. When you're playing that game, when you're in that championship, when you're in that relationship, it's got to count. You can't, there's no redos. If you can redo it, you wouldn't take it as seriously and you wouldn't push as hard. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's deep. But that's the science of when they talk about like the science of like reincarnation and all that.
Mm-hmm. Do-overs.
Right. You do get a do-over. But here's the thing. The only way it works is if you take away your memory of your last trip.
Yeah.
You see? That's the only way it goes. If you were able to remember all the lives that you've been through, it's kind of like what you're talking about. Why should I work hard?
Yeah. Just do it over.
But you're gonna do it over, but you don't know that you're gonna do it over.
Right. You're doing it over right now.
Exactly. Exactly. But see, there's microcosms, macrocosms, and what he's talking about is a microcosm, and I'm talking about the macrocosm. So do-overs do exist, but we don't remember. So it's like it's the first time.
Yep.
And actually, every time you play a new game, that's the do-over.
Yep.
But that particular moment can't be redone.
Recently, we posted this interview up with Ice Cube, where he said that No Vaseline was a better diss song than Hit 'Em Up by Tupac.
And I agree.
You commented on that.
Yes,
You
I said
agreed.
I agree.
And the reason Ice Cube said it was because he was in the group with NWA. So therefore, it was a lot more personal.
Absolutely.
Whereas Hit 'Em Up, yeah, they were friends and so forth, but they didn't know each other as well. And it wasn't as personal.
And, I feel like Ice Cube was saying more real shit. Like, whereas I feel like Pac was maybe trolling Biggie. You see what I'm saying? Because I fucked your wife. Like, there's no real proof that I know of that he fucked her. Well, unless you know something behind the scenes that I know. I don't know that to be true. You see what I'm saying? I feel like that was one of those things that he said because it appeared like that when he put that picture out. You see what I'm saying? It appeared like, he was working on his insecurities, I feel like, and that's a form of trolling.
Right.
So I feel like there was no actual, you know what I mean?
Well, the one point that people have brought up in the comments, which I definitely agree with, was the one thing that did make Hit 'Em Up a perfect diss song was the fact that he had his little homies on the track. Which, no shot to the Outlaws. I think the Outlaws are dope, and I have a relationship.
Right, but I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? It's like
Oh,
you
and
didn't
I
see
fuck with the
Biggie
Outlaws, too.
throw. I'm sorry, you didn't see like Ice Cube throw
The lynch mob.
the lynch mob, right? On the
Yeah,
second
that
and
was
third.
something he needed to handle.
Right. Himself.
Right.
Himself.
Right. But at the time, you got to understand, I feel like Pac was, at that particular time, he was really trying to
Push him up.
introduce us to the Outlaws and all of that. You know what I mean?
worked.
So it definitely did work. You know what I mean? And they had some hard shit on there. But I could see where, a critic would say something like that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No Vaseline was a great diss
I
song.
loved No Vaseline.
Yeah, it was a great diss song.
I loved that whole album. Like his,
I liked his first album better, but I like that album.
I liked that first album, but his second album, those two, for me, is like,
Yeah. I think Hit 'Em Up is still a better song because I think that Pac came more aggressive.
think so?
I think so.
God damn, y'all know, just set it off. Used to be my homie, now you're just wet and soft. Used to be down with the AK. Now you're fucking in videos of Michelet? I don't know. Just the way that shit just come on. Like, and the fucking breaky shows, that Daz Band shit. Are you sure? Are you sure, Vlad?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Now, I mean, don't get me, I loved Hit 'Em Up. When he said, call the cops when you see Tupac.
Call the cops
was
when you
like-
see Tupac.
You know what I mean? That's some shit right there. Like when you tell a motherfucker, when you see me, just call the police.
Right.
Because it's on.
He said, you shot me, but you punks didn't finish. Now you about to feel the wrath of a menace. I hit him up. And he kind of played it off the Get Money song, Take Money.
Yeah.
Like it was a multi-level kind of diss record.
Right. It was.
But imagine if Pac did all the verses on that, I think it wouldn't even be a conversation. Honestly.
Maybe. Yeah. You might
Honestly.
be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
Two great diss songs nonetheless.
Two great diss songs.
And of course, Ice Cube's gonna say that he had the better song, because, as he should. It's his song.
But I just remember how I felt about each one at the time. I don't know. I just feel like, see, you know what Tupac had going for him too, though, with his? He had a video.
True.
There was no video for No Vaseline.
True. It's a good point. Wonder why.
I mean, at that time, there was a lot of, censorship. And because remember, in the beginning of rap videos, you could have a gun out and all this type of shit, and it was cool.
Right.
Then at some point, it was like,
Right.
no guns, and oh my God, you know what I
Right,
mean?
because
Like,
MTV, because not even MTV, but Yo MTV Raps was essentially the only outlet for your music video. Yes, you could have the world's best music video, but if MTV didn't play it, no one was going to see it.
Right, so then it was, exactly. So when you got a song that's riddled with fucking curses and, you know what I mean?
Plus the anti-Semitic stuff, you let a Jew, break up my
Exactly.
crew. That
All of
alone would have probably gotten it off of MTV.
All of that. So, yeah. But shit, I'd like to see a video for that right now. Like make a new cartoon one or some shit.
Well, because, shit, they were definitely, Dre was taking shots at Eazy. He had a fake Jerry Heller and a fake Eazy-E in his videos and so forth. Yeah, it would have been a hell of, if he made that shit funny.
Oh, and he would have.
Yeah.
The producer of Fridays. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's capable of making some funny shit.
Right. Yeah, too bad, man. Anyways, two great diss songs. I can see the point in both of them. D.L. Hughley. We recently interviewed him.
I like D.L. Hughley.
You like the interviews we did? You
Yeah.
seen it? Yeah.
I didn't see them all, but I seen one of them. And I just like his point of view.
Right.
I feel like I need to sit down with him, actually.
Hey, he's a cool motherfucker. Me and
Yeah.
him still keep in contact. He
Yeah.
lives in Calabasas. You know what I'm saying?
I like
cool
D.L.
motherfucker.
Hughley. Tell him I said what up.
Absolutely. So he said, one of the clips we put up, which I think reacted the most.
If you're broke and white in America, you have wasted your whiteness. You should put it on eBay and sell it to some niggas who could use it.
Exactly. Which is why you know what I mean? When I see white people, white homeless people with fucking, oh, please give me some, get the fuck out of here. You're white. Go fucking shave, put on a suit, and fucking you can bluff your way into CEO tomorrow.
I don't know, if you're missing some teeth and
Listen.
you've been doing crack for about, 10
Okay,
years.
so go fucking buy you some fucking fake dentures and all that. Just trust me, man. It'll be a lot easier for that white guy to just try to clean himself up than, you know what I mean, than an already clean brother with you know, who's articulate and all of that type of shit. Like, this cleaned up bum can use his whiteness to propel himself to heights unimaginable within this system. So yes, you don't get shit from me, and you are wasting your fucking whiteness if you're white and broke in this fucking country.
I mean, you do know there's a lot of broke white people in this country. There's actually more broke white people than
broke but that's
black
because there's more
white people
in the country.
Right.
And, you know, that's because some of your upper echelon whites have gotten so greedy that they don't give a fuck about some of the lower echelon whites. And I guess it's always been that way in a way, but I think it's probably, the gap is widening. You know what I mean? And that's what's making them mad now, the poor whites. They're starting to get upset now. Hey, I thought I was white in America. How come this shit ain't working for me? What the fuck? Fucking niggers and Mexicans?
Well, DL said that we should just give the whole South back.
To me, that whole idea, like the southern region of the United States of America, we should sell it back. We should sell it back. We should.
To who? Mexico?
We can sell it to China. They buy everything. They buy old Jordans. They buy everything.
Yo, and he made a great point. He said, listen, how is the poorest part of the country going to decide who the fuck gets into
the White House?
The White House. Like, not just the poorest, but the most illiterate, you know what I mean? The lower IQs and shit like that of these motherfuckers that we're talking about. Not to say everybody from the South is dumb, because of course not.
Well, I mean, you could say education levels are probably lower in the South than in the North.
Is what I'm trying to say. Right.
I think that's more or less established.
And, you know, economic-wise,
yeah,
shit is a lot harder in the South than in the North.
There's less industry.
Right.
First and foremost, less cities.
Well, first of all, their industry, that's what they're mad at, because their industry got taken away. Their industry was slavery.
Right.
And when their industry got stopped, you know what I mean? That pissed them off. Where up north, they had factories and all that type of shit.
Right, they actually paid people.
Yeah.
Not very well, but.
Yeah, exactly. Was it fair? But at least they did pay people, and they had, you know, mechanized machinery and all of that too. Yeah, because the South, they didn't even want the cotton gin type of. They're thinking like that's gonna fuck up, you know, take the place of their niggers and all that.
But in fact, it actually.
Yeah, it ended up
bumped up.
Yeah.
Bumped up slavery because now they could increase the production.
Right, but I think
the cotton gin
they were against it at first.
Well, right. Well, because they used slaves to pick the seeds out of the cotton, but the cotton gin wasn't going to pick the cotton for you. It just separated the seeds. So now you could, if you pick more cotton, you can make more cotton with the cotton gin, which in fact just kind of revitalized the whole industry. Because I guess it was dying before the cotton gin, because I mean slaves were expensive. People had mortgages on them. This is why like the whole concept of runaway slaves and, you know, the overseers and everything else like that was such a big business, because these pieces of property were so expensive. I mean, it's fucked up when you say it, but that's essentially what happened. From what I understand, the ratings of the NFL are down.
They are. And you know why?
Kaepernick?
Of course Kaepernick, but it's me. You see, I put certain vibes out into the universe. I ain't been fucking with the NFL. And I fuck with the NFL. You understand? I'm a Giants fan. You know what I mean? Like, I like football. I used to play football. But guess what? I ain't been fucking with it. I can't get myself to watch it right now. And is it that, you know, is it all about Kaepernick? Like, I respect what he did. You know what I mean? Do I think us boycotting football is going to solve all of the problems in the NFL. No. But God damn it, we got to do something. Like, people got to just start being in the habit of doing something other than doing nothing. Because like I said, doing nothing is an action. When you don't do anything, you're actually doing something when you do nothing. So my action, man, I ain't even been watching preseason football. I didn't watch, you know what I mean? Matter of fact, my man invited me. He wanted me to go out to LA for my birthday for the Raiders Jets. I can't do it.
Not doing it.
I can't do it.
Right, because in fact, the NFL Players Union just named Colin Kaepernick the MVP for Week 1 of the season.
Wow.
Even though he's not playing.
Wow.
But the criteria isn't really based on gameplay; it's based on the actions they do outside the field and so forth. So they felt that out of all the NFL players, he deserved to be the MVP of this week.
That's what's up, man.
Tom Brady actually spoke for Kaepernick.
Really?
Yeah, he said that, he personally saw Kaepernick come to his stadium, beat them, and then go on to win the Super Bowl. I believe that either won the Super Bowl or went to the Super Bowl. I forgot which one it was.
Yeah, I think he went, though.
Well, probably went to the Super Bowl. Everyone is pro Kaepernick, except for your man, Sheriff Clark.
Who's that?
You know who Sheriff Clark is, with a cowboy hat, who fucks with Trump, the black dude. No? No idea? This was like one of the few black Trump supporters. He's a sheriff.
Omarosa.
Huh?
Besides Omarosa?
Besides one of the few.
Okay.
I guess he was offered the job, or potentially offered the job of Homeland Security. He's anti-immigrants. He's anti-black people. Chelsea Handler recently called him a black white supremacist. He said he's the only sheriff that would pull himself over for no reason.
That's a good one.
He called Kaepernick an opportunist. And he said you never see him in the hood mentoring young black males.
Like, he be in the hood mentoring young black males. Because what's he talking about? Is he there to see if Kaepernick comes to the hood? Fuck no. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I already know that's some bullshit. I already know this man, Kaepernick, has given of his own money, like, to numerous fucking causes.
Right.
Millions of dollars.
Right. He gave to J. Cole. I don't know about millions, but hundreds of thousands, I think.
No, I heard one was like $1 million, B. He gave somebody some shit like $1 million, B.
Heard he was trying to raise $1 million. I think he raised like 900,000.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Even still, that's good too.
So you feel that what's happening in the NFL right now, ratings-wise, is because of Kaepernick?
Absolutely. This is the Kaepernick effect. This is what it's called.
Some people say that people are making a big fuss over Kaepernick, but ultimately he's not considered a top quarterback anymore.
It's not about him being a top quarterback.
I mean, isn't that what sports is about?
Listen. First of all, he's better than a whole bunch of motherfuckers that's in the NFL right now. So what are y'all saying? He's not a top quarterback right now. There's plenty of motherfuckers that he's way better than that are in the NFL right now.
Okay. I don't know that much about football, so I'm not.
I do.
So I'm not going to totally defend this. So in terms of all the quarterbacks out there, is he top half or bottom half?
I'd say he's in the top middle.
Top middle.
Yeah, like he's not the greatest quarterback, but he was doing all right there for a minute. I don't know if he's slid. If we go from, let's just say from 1 to 100, I'd put him around 60 something maybe.
So that's lower half.
Meaning, no, the higher, that's above 50.
Oh, okay.
100 is at the top. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And
I thought you meant like 1 is at the top and 100 is at the
no,
bottom.
100 is at
100
the
is at the
top.
top, so he's 60.
He's around 60,
60 out of
in the
100.
60s, I'd say. So there's plenty of, and this is just quarterbacks we're talking about. So there's plenty of NFL quarterbacks who are under the 60%. What about these motherfuckers? Like, trust me, it's not about that. All the arguments they give of why he's not in the NFL, like, oh, really, is he that? Yeah, he is good enough to be there, motherfucker. If you're going to say this nigga's good enough to be there, then you're goddamn right, he's good enough to be there. Y'all just don't want him there. First of all, there was even no proven anything that anybody was going to boycott anything if they signed him. These are people just feeling like shit might happen. We don't want to sign him because we feel like some of our sponsors might pull out. Well, do you know that? Has anybody actually said that? Who are these sponsors? Or is this just some shit to fucking blackball a motherfucker who did some shit that you didn't like? And now you got to give us bullshit excuses. But see, I'm not the type of motherfucker that's just going to take bullshit excuses. I'm going to take your excuse and I'm going to pick it apart. And no, give me something else now. Because all your excuses is bullshit.
I mean, I'll be honest, I think within...
Say what it is. Y'all some racist motherfuckers, and you don't like that he took a stand. You don't like one of your slaves rebelling. So this is the Kunta Kinte. You're trying to cut his fucking foot off.
Right, because I'll be honest, like, I think within 200 years, so like past our lifetime, I think that football will cease to exist as a professional sport in America. I feel it's just inherently too dangerous.
Well, America's getting so pussified that I say 20 years maybe this shit might be gone. We might be flag football out this motherfucker. Seriously.
Like for example, most parents that are educated in this, you know, who aren't just looking at their kids for a paycheck, they're not going to let their kids play football, knowing what people know about CTE and the damage that's caused in the brain and like, you know, and that type of thing. Unless they develop a technology that prevents that, a new type of helmet or something of that sort.
They do have new helmets, the ones that kind of give in the front a little bit.
Yeah, but it seems like people, you know, NFL players are still dying fucked up and, you know, with all types of, you know, brain injuries and so forth.
Yeah, well, I feel like these helmets are kind of new too, so we still
well,
have
we'll
to
see.
wait for the data.
Like I said, we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
If they develop a new helmet that stops it, then it'll be fine. But ultimately, if it doesn't stop that, bashing your head against, you know, someone else's helmet, most parents who aren't looking at their kids as a paycheck are going to say, no, you're not going to play football. The end. Just like you're not going to ride a motorcycle.
The old American spirit, that old make America great again. See, those motherfuckers would bash their heads together and not give a fuck. You understand? Like the old John Wayne America, be like, that's right, we crash our heads together in helmets and later on we go on to have brain damage. But that's the fucking American way. You understand what I'm saying? Now, you pussified, pansified motherfuckers, oh, he's hitting his head, oh, he's getting, so, you know, everything, listen, don't get me wrong, the CT shit is bad, especially the motherfuckers that end up committing suicide and all this type of shit. But, you know, I don't know how, I don't have all the data on that, so maybe I should just pull back a little bit. But I'm just saying, I don't see all these football players like killing their families and doing all, you know, maybe there is a certain percentage that, you know, but for the most part, is every person that's smashing their fucking head into another helmet gonna have this shit? I mean, I played youth tackle league. We used to go for that. Right. We used to do that on purpose. If you went home without no paint from the other team's helmet on your helmet, you was a bitch. So you wanna pop a motherfucker. You wanna go head on.
Yeah, I mean, look at boxing and UFC.
And I don't think I got anything wrong with me. I mean, I'm working pretty good out here.
Right. I mean, look at boxing and UFC. Because I remember I interviewed that one boxer. Remember the one where the gay sex tape came out?
Yeah.
And he was fucked up.
Right.
And we talked about it. He said,
it's messing with my speech, you know.
Really? So your speech you think is from the boxing and
Yes,
getting hit in the head?
it is. I know it is.
Okay. So when you first started boxing?
I was regular. All I did was laugh, joke, you know.
Sure. You had a lot of concussions?
No, I think I got one now, though. I get bad headaches every now and then.
That's what
Right.
made me not want to box when I was young. But then as you went on, the new boxers who became more defensive, I guess, and just didn't go into battles and shit like that,
Well-
they actually ended their careers and could still speak. Look at a De La Hoya.
Right.
Look at a
But-
fucking Mayweather.
But these are all lighter weight boxers.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? The
But they're still
heavyweight,
getting hit in the fucking head.
not nearly as hard as the heavyweight.
Yeah, but I think it's relative. Because listen,
no.
a heavyweight on a heavyweight, it's size. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but a heavyweight skull doesn't have more thickness than a middleweight skull. It's pretty much the same. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
So
but
it's kind of
more
like
power.
There's more power behind a heavyweight's punch to the same type of skull, the same brain.
You're right.
And ultimately, you're jarring, you're bruising the brain. You know.
I see that. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that was the first time I really talked to a boxer that was really like, oh shit, like you really got fucked up from this sport. And we're having like a half hour, 45-minute conversation, and it's like it's very clear. So, yeah, I mean, you may see boxing, and so I mean, in a future society, they may just say certain sports are just not legal. It's like Fight Club. Yeah, people will do it on the low, but we're not going to have events and sponsors and that type of thing around.
But then it's like you can't pick and choose then. Like if you're gonna be so humane, then you gotta do that across the board. Not just for football
Yeah, that's what I'm
players
saying.
and basketball players and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, basketball
you
doesn't really
to
have,
you have to show the same type of care and humanity for all things.
And I think people will.
And
eventually.
all people.
Yeah, and I think people will at some point.
Okay.
I mean, shit, back in the day.
We'll see.
Back in the day, the Roman, the Colosseums, it was perfectly
It's
okay.
the Greek games. It's the
Right.
same thing right now.
It was okay for a bunch of people to die in the arena. It was not a big deal. They were just slaves. They weren't
Right.
like regular citizens.
And so what we're doing now
throw a tiger in there, like
is a recreation, a lesser,
Yeah.
to a lesser degree of the Greek games.
100%.
That's what me and
100%.
the God Sincere used to call all of this shit the Greek games. Like,
Greek
you know what I
games.
mean? Because these stadiums are built just like those. I mean, they're called arenas. God damn it! Like, yeah.
Same shit. So recently, I interviewed No Malice, formerly the Clips.
Okay.
He changed his name from Malice.
Right, to No
To No
Malice, because he's
Malice.
a Christian
Right.
rapper.
He's Christian now, right? He left the Clips. Pusha T continues to do the same type of music. He is doing a different type of music.
Right.
And he said something kind of interesting. He said that he started thinking at one point, and he said,
can you imagine how many people went to jail listening to the things that I said? Forget everybody else, and other rappers and other groups. Think about how many times people got pulled over, went to jail, my record playing in the car. Think about how many times somebody's head was blown out, and the theme music still playing or whatever. Because I know I liked who I listened to and wash my car to it, pump my gas in it, and it was just the theme music to my life. So you create that vibe. You definitely create that vibe. This isn't an opinion. This isn't, trying to rap shame or anything like that. This is truth.
and once he realized that and accepted it, he realized that he can't do that type of music anymore. He had to change his name. He had to separate himself from the Clips, even though
That's his brother.
that's his actual brother.
Actual brother.
Actual brother. And they had a lot of commercial success.
Right.
And a lot of critical success.
Yep.
On top of that, which is a rarity in music, to actually sell albums and have the critics also applaud what you do. And essentially he took responsibility for what it is that he did and didn't want to repeat the cycle of doing it. What's your take on that?
I think that's beautiful. I think it's great. I mean, I think that's what we all need to do. See, but like you said he sat and thought. When he thought about it, this is the conclusion he came to. So, what do they not want you to do? Just think. Because if you start thinking about all the bullshit that you're really doing out here, you may not want to continue doing it. So let me ply you with alcohol and weed and Molly and fucking, you know what? Let me remove weed out of there. But Molly and Percocet and all this other fucking shit, and let me inundate you with TV shows and, you know, like we was talking about Black Mirror, right?
Yeah.
Where you had to always watch the screen. If you try to close your eyes, they'd be like, please open your eyes, and an alarm go off. And you have to watch these screens. They're always in front of you. Why? So that you don't just sit and have time to think. This is why meditation is so important. This is why we all need to meditate. Because this is when you'll get certain answers and you'll find where your lines really lie. You see, we were talking about lines earlier. He, after thinking about it, he said, whoa, my line is not down there. My line is actually closer to here. And I'm not going to pass that line anymore. Here's my new marker. I love you, bruh, but if your line's down there, I can't cross past here.
Yeah.
I know my line used to be down there, but now I'm pulling it back.
Right, because recently, you know, Russ, who's one of the new rappers coming out, he said, how much Xans and lean do you have to do before you realize you're a fucking loser?
Exactly.
And then Fredo Santana, this Chicago rapper, who uses
Xans and lean.
Xans and lean. He responded, says, until I can stop thinking about my dead homies and the trauma that I've been through in my life, that's when I stop.
You see? And that's, you know, people are trying to cope. People trying to use these things as a coping mechanism. But guess what? That's not it. That's only going to lead to, you know, you now being the dead homie and somebody fucking medicating themselves to get over your fucking loss. You see, that's the fucking vicious cycle. But if you sit, meditate, get with your inner self, get with your true self, certain answers will come to you.
Right, because I interviewed Maxo Cream. He's a rapper out of Texas, actually. And we were talking about that, the Xans and lean. And, you know, he's someone that raps about it and it's used and so forth. Now you talk about Xans, like that seems to be like the thing these days. Like when I was growing up, no one was taking Xans like that. That was, you know.
How old you?
I'm in my 40s.
In your 40s, so you, man, when you were good, y'all was smoking crack. The 80s, man, y'all didn't see. That's one thing. I look. I stopped fucking with the Xans too. I used to go hard on the Xans too. But one thing I ain't gonna say, y'all gonna down like. Y'all can't down the Xan coaches, my nigga. Y'all was smoking Sherm. Y'all was smoking crack, bro. Y'all can't come at the Xans like that, you feel me? Ain't no way. We ain't no crackheads, you feel me?
Right. But I'm going to tell you the difference, though. I'm going to tell you the difference. The difference is we weren't making songs bragging about how much crack we smoked.
Exactly.
You know, except for that one guy, the crack it up guy. But outside of that, there was not a single song about a rapper bragging about smoking crack. Now, to be fair, I just interviewed DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia. Well, you guys, I feel, were one of the first rappers to talk about hard drugs in general.
Well, Pimp C said that when we was before we made that song. It was so funny. We was in his house. He was living in Atlanta then, and he was like, "Man, one thing I like about y'all, man, is man, y'all actually talk about that shit." He's like, man, there's a lot of other rappers out here, man, get high, but they won't talk about that shit. You know, we talked about it. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when Sony was listening to some of that shit we were turning into. I feel like, did they just fucking make a song talking about sniffing cocaine?
It's not always a black and white line here.
Well, I told you in the beginning of hip hop, you know.
Yeah, people are talking about coke.
Say cocaine, dust, and all of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, not so much the crack, because that was, you know, got real devastating. They brag about selling it, but not about taking it.
Right.
Not about being the junkie, because that looked down upon. I mean, the junkie is a motherfucker that you don't want to be. Like, They get played and they're dirty and they stink and, you know what I mean? Who wants to be that?
They're sucking dick for a hit. And
who wants to be that?
Right.
Like, but now, you got motherfuckers raising their hands. I do. I want to be a fucking junkie.
Molly Percocet. Molly Percocet. Yeah. I mean, these days, I brought up this poll. I put a poll on my Twitter page. I said, is it more acceptable in hip hop to A, sell drugs, or B, do drugs? And I think most people voted for B.
And that's crazy because that's in today's hip hop.
Today's hip hop.
Because in my day, it would have been A.
100%.
And so that's crazy.
Right. Except for weed.
Huh?
Except for weed. Weed has always been, well,
that's because I can't even put weed in that. That's why I had to take it out that category.
Exactly.
They try to put it in there, but yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, these days, most of the, you know, when you take out the Kendricks and the J. Coles and so forth, a lot of the new rappers are rapping about lean, Xans, pills, Mollies. Like that's considered a regular thing. There's nothing shocking about it. So they do it in their regular life, right along with their music. And
so what happens when a popular rapper comes out and now he's rhyming about crystal meth?
Yeah.
Which that's the next step. I'm sure there's a white trailer trash rapper right now who rhymes about crystal meth that we don't even know about. Yellow Wolf knows him, I'm sure. But yeah, like, come on, B. Or when motherfuckers just start rhyming about gunning it, just straight taking heroin to the vein.
Fuck it.
Why not? Y'all into being junkies and shit like that?
Right.
Go the full mile.
There was a battle rapper who actually shot up.
I saw that.
Remember that?
Oh
like shot up what looked like heroin in the
crazy.
middle, and then he died. I guess most people are assuming from an overdose because he was like in his early 30s.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, people do it. They just don't talk about it. So, Azalea Banks was banned off of Twitter, but apparently she has a new Twitter account under a different name.
Okay.
And she did a post saying, gross, just found out that DJ Vlad posted a video in which some black guy said I should be jumped. How is that okay? Black men in hip hop have been extremely violent towards me from day one. A lot of times I've been chastised or physically threatened. This hip hop shit is crazy. And then everyone wanted to turn around and ask why I'm upset. Why did Jim Jones call me a 2-bit slower? And no one in hip hop shut him down. But then Snoop said one semi-wrong thing about Iggy. All hip hop pressured him to apologize. Yuck, I should not be back in this space. I can't get over it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have feelings turned. She said hip hop turned his back on me big time. The black guy she's talking about is Taxstone. So certain Azalea Banks fans were at me on Twitter like, yo, are you saying this is okay? Are you co-signing this? Here is my take on this. Azalea Banks is notorious for just attacking people.
Right.
Without any sort of reason or rhyme behind it.
Well, not a reason that you might.
Not a reason that
you might understand.
She was not defending herself.
Obviously has a reason.
She would start the attacks on various people, and it's happened time and time again. My take is that when you attack people,
you gotta be prepared to get attacked.
Well, not only should you be prepared to get attacked yourself, but your method of attack doesn't necessarily have to match theirs.
Equal doesn't mean identical. We
Right.
said that early.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could call you a name, and then you could punch me in the face, and I can't say, hey, that's not fair. You should have called me a name back. Why'd you have to punch me in the face?
Right.
But when I'm attacking people, you can't cry about how everyone's always attacking you. Yeah, Taxstone said what he said. A lot of people said what they said about, she called all UK rappers a disgrace. A whole country full of rappers said UK hip hop is a joke and a disgrace. They should just stop.
Right.
And then you're getting sad and in a bad place because someone says something negative about you. That, you know, they didn't even say they're going to jump. He just said that he wants some, you know, a certain type of female to jump her.
Right.
What's your take on it?
I mean, well, first of all, I didn't even hear nobody. I didn't hear the shit about anybody calling her a slur. I didn't hear nothing about nobody jumping her. So in essence, she just brought this to light. Like she just made those attacks on her more famous right now by even bringing that shit up, because I ain't hear nothing about it. Although I will say what she's saying about, all right, Jim Jones called her a name, but then when Snoop said something, that part right there, like I could see her point. You understand what I'm saying? Because we do, like just certain things with black people that shouldn't be accepted are just normally accepted. And if it happens to anybody else, oh my God, this is fucking crazy. Like, for instance, that video that your boy XXX Tentacion put out with the little white kid getting hung.
Right.
Now the video is filled with images of black men getting hung. We see images of black men getting hung all the time. Like, this has been ingrained into our brain from childhood. When we see things from slavery times, and there's always these famous pictures of black men hanging from trees and the white men at the base celebrating, and white women are there too with their children and all of this type of shit. There's plenty of times where we see the black man truly hung, or hung in you know, a fictional way, maybe in Roots, you know, that's not real, but they still was hanging niggas. But now we done put the noose around a little white boy's neck and pull the rope on that motherfucker. And look how motherfuckers went crazy.
Wait, D.L. Hughley brought up an interesting point where he basically said that
in America, there's never been a black man killed that society was so abhorred by that they changed things. That they were so angry about and so hurt by they changed things.
I mean, I would say Emmett Till.
No, nothing changed.
No?
No.
Nothing changed?
No. People are looking at the eclipse. Like today, it only happens, it's rare, it only happens once in a lifetime. If I want to see something that only happens once in a lifetime, I'll look at the conviction of a police officer for killing a black man.
I think Emmett Till helped mobilize us more than it did white people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not like white people saw that picture and said, oh my God, we are wrong.
I think certain people did.
Some of a small percentage though, not the type that how we needed it to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't think that it really affected white people's hearts like that. Like, understand, if they found, let's flip it, if they found a white Emmett Till who was beaten by black men like that, like, there'd be a fucking holiday for this motherfucker right now. Well, right. Like, there would be Emmett Till Day. Never forget. We cannot have, like, you understand what I'm saying?
Right, because you see these polls like, slavery, get over it. 911, never forget.
Thank you.
And one thing that the DL actually brought up, which was kind of interesting, was that, for example, like the Jean Benet situation.
Yeah.
Right? This is like a little blonde girl who got killed, what, 10, 20 years ago?
It had to be almost 20-some years ago. 25 years ago now, yeah.
Okay. People still care about that murder. Like, there's new documentaries coming out about that.
Sure.
And this is what I mean about with OJ and Nicole. You see what I'm saying? She was that blonde, blue-eyed. John Benet Ramsey is a baby Nicole, is a baby Nicole Simpson.
Pretty much.
You see what I'm saying? And anything in that sphere, even, what's her name? Iggy Azalea fits into that mold for them in a way. So that's why they'll fucking, Captain Saber hold her ass all the time too. But guess what? Azalea Banks, unfortunately, you don't fall into that category. And you know why. Like, let's not, oh, well, see, when it's this and that, yeah, we know that already. Like we're in America, we know how the devil moves. Okay? So let's not be surprised when the devil does devilish shit.
Right, because I just saw the Khalif Browder documentary on Netflix. Did you see it?
I saw some of it.
Six episodes.
I didn't see all 6, but I saw a few of them. Yes.
Jay-Z was an executive producer on it. Incredible work. By the way. Incredible stuff. And I heard the name and I heard this and that, but I actually got to see the story laid out. I mean, essentially, he was in prison for 3 years for allegedly stealing a book bag. They ultimately couldn't even find the person who made the complaint. They went back to Mexico.
Right.
Every time he was supposed to have a court case, he just got pushed back. He was in solitary for like 300 days. Was beaten by the guards and the inmates. Tried to commit suicide. Was continuously just fucked up, and then ultimately, even when he got out,
it still fucked with his mind.
He still fucked with him. He ended up hanging himself in his bedroom. But this doesn't really resonate in the same way that, let's just say, if this happened to Iggy Azalea. If Iggy Azalea hung herself, it'd be like,
right, or any poor, white kid who did something, pretty innocent, stealing a book bag. That's not like shooting a cop or, he wasn't even selling drugs. You stole a fucking book bag. So now, if it was a white kid that did it, they'd find a way to, it was just a harmless little, and then somehow he tragically lost his life because of the jail system. And so now, they'd be doing all kind of shit to try to, I guess, revamp the system, even though your boy's acting like he wants to close down Rikers, which ain't gonna do shit.
I mean, yeah, because they're actually saying that they're closing down Rikers.
Yeah,
They've announced it. Not this year, but they're in the process of it.
Man, it ain't just Rikers. Like, that whole culture exists in all that Brooklyn House, Queens House, you know what I mean? Like, all these jails, that whole culture just exists. So you closing down Rikers, that's just the central hub. That's where you hear the most stories. So now the stories are just gonna be spread around, when there's something here or however the fuck they gonna do it. But trust me, ain't shit gonna change about that.
Right. I mean, I remember this one time, the first time I got arrested, they almost sent me to Rikers on accident. I was on a wrong list.
First of all, do you know that who Riker is?
Right. He was like a racist.
He was a slave catcher. And he would catch free slaves and bring them back, free black people and bring them back as slaves, sell them back into slavery. And they named a jail after him. That's like all this, we talking about taking down Confederate flags and all this type of shit. You naming your jails.
Rikers.
What the fuck was you trying to say there?
Right.
If I named my fucking jail Hitler's and had a multitude of Jewish people locked up, what would y'all feel about that?
I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and me and D.L. Hughley talked about this in our interview, was that the thing about these monuments that I never realized, I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. She was telling me how a lot of those monuments didn't go up during the Civil War. They came out afterwards during the Jim Crow times to kind of scare black people.
Jim Crow and civil rights. Listen, you building a monument to motherfuckers that lost. You getting every time you see one of them is a motherfucker whose way of life, whose ideas, whose school of thought was defeated.
I saw that before this interview. Yeah. Yes, they weren't built during that time. They were built during Jim Crow.
Right.
And shitload were built during the civil rights era.
Right.
To fuck psychologically with black people. That was some mind fuck shit. You had one or two, because I saw actually a graph on this. I saw the graph where you see specklings during the Civil War of little monuments. Then once Jim Crow came, the shit spiked, then it went down again. And then when the Civil War shit came, bang, it went up again. I mean, not Civil War, Civil Rights era. When the Civil Rights era came, and this is all psychological intimidation of black people.
Right. I mean, you don't see any statues for like Lee Harvey Oswald. Imagine that. Imagine a Lee Harvey Oswald statue in Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine that.
Or Timothy McVeigh.
Or Timothy McVeigh.
Statue.
In Oklahoma.
Yeah. With a blown out building, and he's just standing there looking at it. Yeah. Good fucking job, I did.
Right.
Like,
I mean, who gives statues to losers? Which is essentially who the Confederates are. They're rebels.
Yeah.
They're essentially traitors.
Yeah. They're terrorists.
They're terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Bin Laden don't have no statues. Not in America. I don't know if maybe somewhere, really anywhere, but I'm sure maybe certain people still look up to him and so forth. But like, yeah, you'll never see that. It's a strange phenomenon.
Listen, and it's, it's certain indignities that you would ask of no other people. No other people except your ex-slaves. Like, you act like, oh, exactly, forget about it, slavery's over, but yet y'all want to hang on to shit like this because it's deeper than that. You've hung on to more than just statues, is what we have to understand. They've been hanging on to concepts.
Yeah.
And mind frames. And listen, a lot of this shit is in people's DNA. It's in your fucking DNA.
Well, someone made a point, which I thought was an interesting point, was that these statues...
Oh, and they're cheap as shit, too.
Well, are they?
Oh, that's another thing about them.
I didn't know that.
Oh, check this out. The statues, because remember when the lady pulled the statue down?
Yeah.
You remember how easy it fell and the legs twisted up and all of that? Did you ever see a statue that's fucking so pliable like that? You know why? Because they were mass produced at a certain time. And they were mass produced cheaply. So if you wanted a Civil War monument in your fucking town, you can get one for very cheap.
On the low.
On the low.
Okay.
So, yeah, look into this shit. Like, seriously, the shits are made like fucking tin, not like a statue that you would think. But a lot of times they're up there, and if you knock on it, it might sound like it is made of metal, but it's not strong.
It's not solid. It's not solid
at all.
Right, because one of the points that Trump made was that you're trying to change history and so forth.
Right, no, this is not history.
Right, well, and then someone made an interesting point, which I agree with, is that these statues shouldn't necessarily be destroyed. They should be in museums. They shouldn't be on public display.
Right.
Now, in a museum is
then
a rightful place, and
you
you could explain the meaning behind it.
Because
yeah,
we do run a slippery slope too when we try to erase the things we don't like in history.
Because no one's trying to erase Hitler. No one's trying to erase, like the man himself. Like, in fact, people should be reminded of that.
Right. Well, this is what I'm saying, so that it won't happen.
Yeah. No one's trying to erase Timothy McVeigh or Charles Manson or any of these people. But you don't put them up on public display as tokens of admiration.
Right. Exactly.
They should be in museums with explanations behind who they are and the effect they had on human history.
Now, it's funny, though, the only people that they did try to erase signs of is black people, the original man. This is why you notice so many statues and shit got the nose and shit cut off, and the Sphinx, the nose is gone. And why is that? Who did that? What were they trying to do there? They're trying to take away so you don't see what the features of these people really are. That's what that was done for, Vlad. You never thought about it.
Never thought about it.
Yeah.
I just assumed that part maybe wasn't part of the original mold. It was like an addition to the mold.
Your boy was shooting cannons at it. Your boy Napoleon.
Oh, really?
And his people was taking target practice, shooting at the fucking Sphinx and all this type of shit. But they traditionally chop off the noses of statues of original people, especially when these original people do like, you know, technological shit that they feel like we weren't supposed to be able to do. Like, oh, black people couldn't have possibly did that. But we did. And so let's erase the record of it because we want you to feel like we was the first ones to do this. So let me chop off the nose so it's kind of obscure.
The best example of this is Jesus Christ, where they completely, the popular image of him
is that he's a white man.
Is that he's a white guy.
Yeah.
You know, to the point of when you go into, you know, the houses of grandparents and stuff like that, they will have the white Jesus hanging up in their house. I've seen it time and time again. Have you seen it?
Which is sick. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's been radical times where I'll see a black Jesus in a Christian's home, but that's rare, you know. A lot of times, especially, you know, coming up in the time I came up in, you definitely would see a white Jesus on the, and it just, even when I was young and nobody even told me about this, no one broke the science down, that just looked wrong.
Right.
That just looked wrong to me.
Notice how we don't have well, I guess you're not supposed to depict images of Muhammad, right? The Prophet Muhammad?
No.
Okay. Right. And then when you do, it causes problems.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess having a white Muhammad is not really an issue because no one does it at all.
Right, yeah. You're not supposed to make depictions.
But for example, you don't see a white Buddha.
No.
Think about that. Have you ever seen a white Buddha? I have not. There's no photographs
African
of them.
Buddhas, there's Asian Buddhas, there are no white Buddhas. Well, that's because there's no white Buddhas. And Buddha is just not one person. You see what I'm saying? Actually, if you really want to get deep, there's no white prophets in any religion. All wise men, all holy men.
What about the
original people?
What about the Christian saints? The Catholic saints?
Those are people they made up. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, but it's all kind of made up.
No. What you got to understand is the Bible already existed at that time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if you go into the so-called holy books, there were no holy white people. These are white people now after the fact trying to make people holy.
Right.
By deeming them saints. How the fuck you gonna do that?
Right. I mean, like
you're just a fucking man. How you gonna determine who the fuck?
You know, like, I mean, the Mormons have their own white saints and so forth. So, but you know, depending on how you look at it, you're right. In the old books,
there is no.
None, because there are no white people that are around during the creation of these books.
Well, at some point there were.
Later on.
Yeah, there was.
Not in the Old Testament. Not even really in the New Testament.
They was around.
They was around?
Yeah, they was around. They were named. They had different names and different tribal names and all that. But you know, at one point they wasn't around, and then they was around. Put it down.
That's how we're gonna end it. Lord Jamar, man. Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.